Danny Flexen here for SecondsOut. Delighted to be joined by top trainer Don Charles here at Bermondsey Boxing Club. Don, how are you?
I'm very well as usual. How are you?
I'm very good. Thank you. I'm apparently not standing close enough to the camera, so apart from that, I'm good. Don, you've just come back from Spain where you've done your training camp with Daniel Dubois in advance of his big fight with Oleksandr Usyk. Altitude training, world-class facilities, not necessarily something Daniel's experienced before. How did you kind of sell it to him, if you like?
Quite simple. He trusts me. The minute we had our meeting for me to become his coach, I said, I work on trust. Yeah, I need you to trust me. Anything I give you, you're unsure, question me and I'll break it and explain it to you. So when I suggested it, he looked at it and his father looked at it, and it made logical sense to take him out of his comfort zone. Remember, we're fighting in a foreign land in Poland, so why not start by making it as uncomfortable as we can from the preparation period? Then that will serve us well when we go to a foreign land to try and contest for those belts. He's already experienced that being out of his comfort zone. That's the logic behind it.
And how did he adapt to the altitude training? He looks absolutely incredible shape in there earlier.
Yeah, initially it was a shock to his system because, again, unfamiliar environment. But he adapted very, very quickly. I mean, the hardest thing to deal with out there, you're 2,500 feet above sea level. So obviously it's a high altitude. Initially, for the first 3 to 4 days, it's like a shock to your breathing system. So he adjusted, and once he adjusted, it was always hard. It never got easy out there. It's not meant to be easy. So, no, for Kemba, the preparation, couldn't ask for it to be better, and it was a very happy camp.
One of the things I noticed, first of all, with the workout that you did just there, and I don't expect you to give everything away in a workout, but there was a lot more emphasis on head movement than perhaps there has been from Daniel in the past. I've seen him in a number of other gyms in the past. Is that a key thing that you guys focused on?
It's one of the key components, yes. It's one of the key components, and we've been working extensively on that. Take your head offline. It's one of the easiest things to get a fighter to learn. Remove your head from the firing line, and that's one of the components we've been trying to improve.
There's been a lot of criticism leveled at Anthony Joshua and some other fighters as well for trying to outbox Oleksandr Usyk. You know, the old saying, you don't box with a boxer. Is that something you thought about heading into this camp, that Dubois needs to make the most of what he's good at?
Most definitely. Yep, you said it, and I'll have to agree with you in the sense that don't try and box a masterful boxer. This guy's like a magician.
Hey, Mike.
And he's very versatile, Usyk. So we need to draw Usyk into our type of fight on the night.
And with everyone talking recently about the Joshua fight with Lenius, Tyson Fury fighting an MMA fighter, do you think that's helped take some of the pressure off Daniel because the spotlight's not been quite so bright on him and only 2 weeks to go?
In some cases, yes, because Daniel's not expected to do anything in this fight. It should be just a routine defense for Usyk as far as they're concerned. And I hope Usyk has brought that concept as well.
How much of a thinking fighter in that sense is Daniel? Will he be thinking about everyone writing him off? Will he be thinking about the enormity of Usyk's, things on his mind like Ukraine and all that sort of stuff? Or is Daniel just purely, I fight in the ring, that's it?
Daniel Dubois is not complicated at all. He's a very straightforward young man. He knows what his duties are. He says, it's my job. If you speak to him, he will always refer to it, it's my job. I'm going to do a job. He's, irrespective of what Usyk is thinking or whatever, no, he knows what he has to do. We have a plan. We have a few plans, and we're going to carry out. One of those plans will pay dividends on the night.
How does Daniel compare with some of the heavyweights you've had in the past, both in terms of ability, character, and power, of course?
Yeah, it has all those three elements: ability, power, temperament. His temperament is actually very good for a young man. Remember, he's a current WBA regular champion, so they don't hand those away in Christmas gifts, right? He already is a champion in his own right. A lot of fighters would like to be in his position where they've actually won a version of a world title, which he currently holds. We merely just want to promote ourselves to have the super belt. And he went on foreign soil to win that title. Okay, and look, we've done our homework. one thing guaranteed, we're gonna give it our best, okay? And I believe our best is good enough to dethrone Usyk.
How challenging has it been, if at all, to find appropriate sparring for Usyk? Because he is kind of one of a kind.
No, that was actually one of the most difficult parts in allocating, identifying and then allocating the right personnel to help us to try and replicate what Usyk does. Very difficult, but I believe we managed to do that.
If you could pick out one or two things that are going to be key to Daniel Dubois doing in the fight that will end up with him winning, something that he needs to execute or a certain part of his game that needs to be on point, what would that be?
Basically, disturb Usyk's rhythm. Don't let him set a rhythm where he's comfortable. Make it as uncomfortable for him every second, every millisecond of that fight. That's what we intend on doing, and we will do that.
Do you think there's a chance that Usyk's underestimated? Well, I know you can't rely on that, but do you think it's possible?
Well, he's only a human being. Again, that brings me back to, I tell long stories. Sometimes people find it boring, but it's not boring to me. I draw from references from previous experiences.
Sure.
When Derek Chisora went to fight Vladimir Klitschko in Mannheim, which the late great Emmanuel Schultz pulled that fight. One of the reasons they pulled it, it turns out apparently, because he's supposed to walk all over Derek. Apparently, he didn't do a full camp. He did a 6-week camp for Derek Chisora. When we got to Mannheim, they saw the shape Derek was in, and Emmanuel Stewart pulled the fight. He told me so himself. He pulled the fight because they didn't do a full camp for it. And Derek was all wrong for Vladimir, according to his training man Stewart. So I hope Usyk has pulled all the hype. Yeah, because he's a human being, and we're prone, no matter how good we are in what we do, the public are really good at blowing smoke up people's bottoms. And then, because what makes Usyk human is that he will buy it, he will buy into that. And I hope he's done a full camp, because even if he's done a full camp, he's going to be in for a fight. And if he hasn't, then I'm afraid that, it's going to be a very, very bad night for him.
What about your own relationship with Daniel? How has that grown and developed, and do you see it extending far beyond this fight?
Because I'm again, experience comes into, and the type of character I am, I'm able to understand a lot of personalities. I've met a lot of different types of people in my life. I've been on this planet for quite a long time, and God willing, I'll have a few more years to be able to do what I do, what I love doing. No, it's been quite easy because I'm a natural father. And Daniel's very, very close with his father. Let's say I'm his boxing father. Yeah, so it was very easy to make that, the relationship, the bonding was quite instantaneous. Yeah, very important.
And if Daniel is able to pull it off at the end of this month, what would that mean to you personally? We know you'll be happy for him, but what would it mean for you?
Well, I was asked this question once. This is the second time somebody's asked me, what would it mean to me? First time I was asked this question, about a month ago, at the presser in London, I burst out crying because I hadn't actually thought about what would it mean to me. Gosh, where do I start? No, it will mean the world to me. Yeah, all my life, I've everybody's got a story, but I've got a story, and this will just cement it. This will just justification, vindication. Anything you could think of, it will really, it will establish me, because I never doubt myself, but the industry that we're in, I don't need to prove anything to anybody. I need to prove it to myself that at this level, I need a big win. I've had a few with Derek, but that Grand Slam, it's almost like winning Wimbledon or winning one of the, Grand Slam, I need this. I have not had a win of this magnitude in my career. It would be nice to get it. And starting from the 26th of August. And
then maybe another crack at your arch nemesis, Tyson Fury.
I don't want to overlook whatever. One bridge at a time. And this one, this is the one. And I've just got this feeling, Danny. You've known me for many years. I've just got this feeling, and we've done the work to back the feeling up. It's not just having the feeling is not enough, because you're fighting a guy who's, how many amateur fights? This guy's he's short from being a genius, Oleksandr Usyk, but guess what? He's a human being that breathes oxygen and bleeds red blood, so he can be beaten.
Don, really appreciate it.
Great job, bro.